This video is called Kyle Kulinski, again, falling for the Bernie Sanders scam in big capital letters. Already, I know I'm going to hate this. I can already imagine what this is going to be going into it. People have been telling me about it. People have been posting it fucking everywhere. It's been everything I can do to not watch it so I can go in fresh for this. I've read articles about this video. But I haven't watched it yet. So, all right, we're going to get started then. Do you have anything you want to say?
I have not seen the video either. I've been meaning to, but like the original video, I didn't know they reacted, but good for them. Get that, what did you call it before? 10-minute ad spot?
Yeah, you know, I love how Kyle is a fucking clickbait whore because he's covering polls for the clicks or whatever. But they're covering Kyle so they can manufacture clout for their dying channel. Just stop being cunts. Just like educate yourselves a little bit. Admit that you were wrong. Stop being useful idiots for fascists, because the kind of fans you want are the sort of fans who recoil from that, right? So have a little bit of humility. Try your best to make better, engaging content that's just not manufactured slop over and over. And then grow your channel that way. Grow your channel that way. Instead of trying to attack Kyle and the only politician in America right now who's actually doing their fucking job. Whatever, let's go.
Learned that allowing this to go on has done nothing but poison our onion nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
Let's fall for the Bernie scam again.
So if I understand the new monetization model of this show, people pay them money and then they spin this wheel. And
yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
And then whatever comes up is what they do. So does he choose? But he knows like what's going to come up, right?
Except for that one time where they spun the wheel and they just ended the show arbitrarily.
What?
They spun the wheel. They didn't get enough donations. Some guy donated $100, and then TJ ended the show and didn't do the spin. He was called out about it the next show, but on Reddit, the guy was salty and wanted a refund, you know, as he should.
Yeah. Here we go, ladies and gents.
I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's fucking go.
Let's strap the fuck in.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta scam ourselves in some way. Why not the Bernie scam?
This is our...
Why not the Bernie scam? Oh man, what is?
Sounds like Hillary Clinton.
They were Bernie. Yeah. Are you saying my impression or just Scotty in general?
No, Scotty.
The irony.
I am just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
Oh man, Paul's become Brett. TJ's become religious. Scotty's become Hillary Clinton.
Let's fall for the Bernie scam.
Oh, I was like, why are they talking so slow? What's going on?
Because they talk slow.
Just gotta speed it up a little bit.
Man, I think people are real hungry for me to be mean to Kyle, or like to like hate on Kyle or whatever. But I gotta be honest with you, dude. I like Kyle.
That's a lie.
You just hate his wife, right? Like,
I guess some people see it that way. They just want to see like there's some conflict. Like, oh, it's like, dude, Kyle doesn't give a... You think he's sitting around like worried about what anyone is saying? Oh, Kyle, I don't agree with you. It's like, yeah, I mean, the person he really seems the most upset with, I think, he did so many podcasts with him, is Joe Rogan. Like when I've seen Kyle cover lately, yeah, like it's a lot.
He's going hard at Joe for a guy that's been on his show, I think 4 times or something.
Yeah, his critiques against Joe Rogan are like completely valid and on point. Joe Rogan is doing absurd propaganda for Trump, and he knows better. Joe Rogan, at a crucial point in the election cycle, decided, I'm just going to throw in all for Trump. I'm going to have that fat Nazi on my show, and I'm going to allow him to lie to my audience, even though I know he's lying.
It might be like 5.
It might even been more. Yeah, you might be right.
It was a number. Like he was on there like at least 4 or 5 times, and I think it's like, you know, he probably considered, it's like, well, you know, even if he doesn't necessarily agree with Joe Rogan, like, hey, I think a lot of it, you know, like I hear his...
No. It's not about I don't agree with Joe Rogan. It's 2 things. It's that Joe Rogan is knowingly deceiving people in order to, I don't know, maybe, you know, to snuggle up to power maybe because he's in the bubble, whatever. Like, he's knowingly lying to his audience, and he's an idiot. That's the other thing, right? So those are criticisms of Joe Rogan. Kyle has integrity, right? Because he did have an in with Joe Rogan, who probably, you know, is a bigger platform than he's ever been on before. He has integrity, and he's calling out someone who's betraying America. He's putting his principles before his connections and before the financial incentive of maintaining a good relationship with Joe Rogan.
Perspective where he's coming from, but there's obviously with the right shift. You
Well,
know, it's like,
there's another end to that coin too. It's like, yeah, there's being loyal to a person that you work with in the same space that helped put you on.
How much does Paul value loyalty and that sort of commitment to tribalism over like common sense and what's right? I don't know.
And then there's like,
Let's find out.
being up against them ideologically and having a sweep for them or just like ignore them as a political commentator. I don't buy into that shit. So
no, I mean,
that's why I speak up when I disagree with Kyle. I hold him to that kind of same standard.
What do you disagree with him on? That he's talking about an election too soon? It's not comparable. That's not comparable to what Joe Rogan is doing.
It is to him.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm any.
And well, he's a dent-headed freak apparently. That's not me body shaming him. That's
No,
his
he
chosen
talked
name.
about that for a long time.
I don't know what that's referring to.
He wears his headphones on his head, so he just discovered that it dents your head. He's like
Jesus.
6 years too late to the whole thing.
I'm going to have to figure out a way to prevent that because I wear these headphones now like every minute that I'm in my apartment. I'm wearing these stupid headphones now. So
We're near as brutal as he's being to Joe Rogan, but maybe we'll see. Maybe he'll really.
well, I think it's also too because he sees his name associated with that. So it's like I think it's just like a repudiation of like, oh, look, that was a totally different time, and I'm not with this.
So
guy
as far
anymore.
as the Bernie shit goes, though, I know there's a saying, it's the one that George Bush mangled. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
okay, I've seen the Kyle video for this, and he doesn't say whatever. We'll just let him do it.
Spoilers.
Shame on me. What about 3 times though? Who's the shame on then? It's still on me,
Yeah.
or is it on you because you're really taking advantage at that point? I don't know.
Who the hell is leading the Democrats right now? Like, for real, who is their leader? Stop and think about it.
It's you, Kyle. You're the leader.
Like, nobody in their right mind would say Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries. Look, it's a real question. Is it Kamala Harris? I mean, she was just,
No,
the standard bearer. Not,
it's not
no.
Kamala.
Dude, she signed with the same not record label, but the talent agency is Biden.
Where the hell is she now? She disappeared. If you
I
were
don't
saying,
think so.
hey, there's like a fascist threat and this guy wants to be a dictator, and then he takes office and like you're nowhere to be found.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know, even somebody like Obama, former president, like you were on the campaign trail of Kamala Harris.
So Kyle is actually calling out all these people, right?
When he starts talking about stealing Gaza and taking Greenland and stealing,
But they live in a totally different world than you live in because they're not looking at like, oh my God, we have to help normal people. They're like, look at all the shit I've got all these people over. I wouldn't be ashamed to lose it, So they're not gonna. Obama's not sticking his neck out for Trump.
Panama and war with Mexico and war with Iran and the world's richest man is illegally hacking into our government agencies and deleting regulatory bodies he doesn't like. I think you can make some
What are the So while this is going on, what are they doing?
exceptions.
I can't wait to
So,
hear what they're going to say.
But look, there actually is an answer to
They
the
just
question.
do faces.
Who is the Democrats' leader?
Man,
Oh no!
I want to say something.
Yeah.
Don't say it, dude.
Don't
I
say
know
it.
he's gonna say it, but don't
Well,
say
man,
it, man.
no, it's already there. It's already there in the title. You already
I know, but I'm hoping that that was bait.
It's not. But dude, I want to say something. I hate this about myself, and I hate this about Kyle here, and I hate this about a lot of lib and lefty commentators. I'm so sick of this like tone of exasperation that's always being struck.
Oh, no.
What?
It's kind of the exasperated tone of
We are exasperated.
Why?
What
Let's
do you
reflect. Why are we exasperated? I know this is all a
He's-
joke to you, but why are we exasperated?
He's just not paying attention. Anyone who's paying attention, who's actually focused on the moment at hand, is exasperated. But that's okay.
I don't think
It's okay
they-
to be. It's okay to be tired. We've got each other, guys. Okay, it's all right. We've got a long battle ahead of us. It's okay to feel fatigued. It's good. When you're working out, you want to push yourself to that point where you're breaking down your muscles, you're panning, you're sweating, and then you have a bit of a recovery. But that means that you're doing good work, right? It's good that he's exasperated. That means that he's fully in what he's doing.
Well, dude,
I just wish things make sense. Just make it make sense. And it's like, quit being a little pussy.
can I tell you how I
I
got tired of
got
it?
that shit in my
What?
tone from doing this political commentary shit.
Well, how I got sick of it. That is what made me sick of it. Honestly, was having to be that way
You're
for the last.
you're using
8
that
years
tone
political
right
comedy.
now.
It's like I'm done, bro. I'm sapped. I'm tapped. I'm emotionally wrung out like a dish
You,
rag,
you are an emotional pit.
and I'm not looking for voices that have this elevated tone about it right now. I want answers, and this feels
I want answers.
just like what he's about to say feels like a joke, man.
And as I pointed out to you guys very early on, you actually can't pick your leaders. Leaders will just emerge. It's an organic thing.
True.
It's a natural thing. They rise up through the ranks.
It's not.
It is.
It's
What?
a constructed thing.
It
It's
is.
not
No, it's
No,
not.
stop.
organic.
Why are you fucking retarded?
Wait, what do you mean leaders are chosen organically by people?
I hope he
that follow
elaborates.
them.
Planned and
Ruh-roh.
coordinated and plotted.
If it's a natural and organic thing, how did Kamala Harris end up at the top of the Democratic ticket? Explain that away, Kyle. I'll wait. You won't.
She wasn't chosen, right? So that's why she didn't win. Because so actually he's proving your point, right? He's saying that because Kamala wasn't a natural leader, that's why she wasn't picked, because people didn't want to follow her. She didn't win the election.
You know for a fact that it is not a natural thing. And number two, please
Paul, oh my God, you're misunderstanding what he means by leader. Holy shit. Leader as in someone who people want to follow, right? Leader, not as in like your manager, right? Like the person that was hired to be your boss. Not that type of leader. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about a leader as in someone whom you follow, not someone who hierarchically is above you.
When your mouth utters Bernie Sanders, I want you to account for the fact that he did absolutely nothing but carry the water and do janitorial work for Joe Biden.
He did a ton of shit.
No. What does Paul
Hold on.
say?
No. Fuck this idiot, dude. He doesn't know anything. Hey, I'm speaking to you now from the future. As I was editing this video, I thought I should probably just take a minute here to explain why I like Bernie Sanders. The hosts of DFF have tried to paint Bernie as a scam artist because he cucked himself, quote unquote, to Hillary and to Joe Biden when he lost the elections. So I just wanted to, take a minute to go over his record because I feel like that is disingenuous and really a smear against the best politician of my lifetime, probably. So Bernie Sanders has been a huge force for positive change in this country. And so I'm going to have sources for all this linked, where I always do. But, let's get into why I like Bernie Sanders and what his record actually is and what he actually has done. Bernie Sanders, born in 1940. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to fucking do that. When he was a student at the University of Chicago, prior to ever being elected to office, he protested racist policies like the segregated housing policy, activism, which ultimately was effective and led to the ending of the policy the following year. In that summer of 1963, he was part of the historic March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, taking to the streets in solidarity with the civil rights movement, and was present during Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. So Bernie, since really he was a young man, he was 21 in college, he's been fighting for equality and against injustice. And he's been part of movements that have been successful in furthering our goals of that progressive liberal idea of equity under the law for all people. He's been a huge part of that for decades of his life, and he's a legend. The movements he's been a participant in have had real positive, good change for the lives of all of us. Every single one of us has benefited from Bernie Sanders' advocacy and allyship. So that summer, also, he was arrested for participating in a protest against racial segregation, putting his safety and future at risk to stand up for what he knew was right. In addition to his record of fighting racism alongside the civil rights movement of the 1960s, he was also heavily involved in several anti-war movements and applied for conscientious objector status during the Vietnam War. His strong and principled stance against our foreign policy of war crimes and exploitation would continue to be a theme during his entire life. In 1980, Bernie ran for the mayor of Burlington, Vermont, which was his first successful election campaign. During his reign as the most based mayor in U.S. history, Bernie was a sharp critic of our foreign policy and even invited Noam Chomsky to give a speech on the matter at City Hall and hosted the state's first gay pride parade in 1983. After his 8-year tenure as mayor, Bernie was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1991, co-founding the Congressional Progressive Caucus, which, composed of mostly liberal Democrats, has endured to this day, recently being chaired by Pramila Jayapal and currently by Greg Casar. Here's a side quest for you guys that'll be in the sources too. I have a video of Casar, now the current chair, grilling one of the assholes behind Project 2025 about being a racist prick and fascist collaborator. The point is, these are our Democrats in the Progressive Caucus. When we talk about the good, quote-unquote, Democrats in Congress, we're talking about these people that are still carrying on the movement that Bernie Sanders has fostered for the last 30-plus years. Sanders has been dubbed as the Amendment King for his years in the House, for being able to get more roll call amendments passed than any other representative from 1995 through 2005, when Congress was entirely under Republican control. Getting back to Bernie's strong and principled anti-war activism, he was one of the few in Congress with the wisdom and moral fortitude to strongly oppose the Iraq War during his time in the House. I've linked that speech in the sources as well. So if you haven't already seen it, if you're one of the few people who hasn't already seen Bernie Sanders' speech to Congress, to a mostly empty Congress, about why the invasion of Iraq, he's opposed to the invasion of Iraq, then you can check that out. That'll be linked in the sources too. During this time, he was one of the few members of Congress to vote against the Patriot Act also. Bernie also had the foresight to oppose the repeal of Glass-Steagall, an action which inevitably led to the 2007 financial crisis and subsequent recession. Since 2007, Bernie has been serving admirably in the U.S. Senate, representing Vermont and all Americans in our struggle for economic and social justice. One of his more notable accomplishments include increasing access to healthcare by adding a provision into the ACA and increasing its funding by $11 billion. Bernie, through his presidential campaigns, has done more to bring progressivism and social democracy to the forefront of American culture than any other candidate, raising consciousness about a myriad of critical issues such as political corruption, wealth inequality, and access to healthcare. I could go on, but I think that's enough for this video, and I am satisfied that I've made the argument that Bernie has done more than carry water for corporate Democrats like Biden. Perhaps we could compare his track record of public service to Paul's record or TJ's record of funneling leftist rage into non-participation. Anyways, thanks for embarking on this little journey with me, and we're back to the video now.
Until it didn't matter.
What has been wrong with what Bernie's been saying? Nothing's been wrong with what he's been saying.
Oh, no,
There's never been a problem with what he's been saying.
Bernie. I have a problem with
Paul has a problem with what Bernie's been saying right now.
Well, that's fine. As far as I'm concerned, from what I've heard, I haven't heard him say anything that I'm like, ooh, I don't like what he's saying. My problem with Bernie has always been what he does.
What happens when you pour?
What does he do?
Or your advocacy behind him? It gets spun into the DNC.
Funneled in when he.
Oh my God.
He's a very complex, conflicted man.
Paul, you funnel leftist energy into apathy, into doing nothing, into not participating. That's what you do. If Bernie, like, look at 2016, okay? Look at the integrity of Bernie after he dropped out, having to make that choice, having to do the lesser evil choice, like everyone had to do, right? Choosing to be the bigger man. He knows, he must have known how that looked to all of us who were so disappointed in him when he bent the knee. But now looking back, that was the right decision. He had the wisdom to make the right choice and to do what he could to try to save this country from Donald Trump. He had tried his best to defeat Hillary Clinton and to overcome the machine, and he was almost successful, but he wasn't. And it's fucked up. And yeah, there's corruption, and they rigged the primary, all that, super delegates, right? I was there. I know what happened, and it's fucked up, right? So he was fucked over by the DNC, and he had to swallow that. That's something Paul could never imagine doing. That takes humility, and that takes believing in something beyond your own fucking ego. And he bent the knee to Hillary. Gross. It was disgusting to watch, but he was right, and he had the wisdom to do it and the integrity to do it. Despite how it looked, he did what he could to save us in the moment. He was fucked. He had been defeated, but even in defeat, he made the correct choice and put this country before his pride. And even before, even before his ideals, he sacrificed that to do what he could to try and ultimately fail to stop Donald Trump. And the second time he did that and he was successful, in 2020, after he had been defeated, he bent the knee again, and he was able to make it happen. He was able to get Biden over the finish line. They fucked him over, and he had every right to form a third party at that moment to say, fuck this, I'm, running Green Party, or I'm starting my own party, I'm going to RFK Jr. them. He did, and maybe who knows, man? Maybe he could have been successful. You don't know. Probably not, because he couldn't even win the primary. But for sure, that would have ensured the loss of the Democrats and the loss of Joe Biden. He sucked it up. He swallowed his pride, and he worked with his enemy to the benefit of the American people. Joe Biden benefited the American people, labor, healthcare. We looked at all that. So if Bernie's bending the knee to Joe Biden and doing what he could to get him over the finish line, if that led to 10 million people getting healthcare under Joe Biden, then Bernie Sanders did the right thing. You could never fucking grasp that, Paul. You see the world too simplistically.
Inevitably is over and backstabbed by the DNC.
Yep.
He immediately comes in like a whipped dog and gives them all the money he raised. All that grassroots money and power that he amassed gets funneled right into the DNC.
Because he was trying to get them elected, because he was campaigning for them. He was doing everything he could to stop Trump.
As lesser of two evils logic. And, when it was him versus Hillary, as soon as Hillary stole the election from him, he thought,
I bend the knee to you, Hillary. Okay, mistress, you are now my master.
God, they're so fucking myopic, dude.
Absolutely porn-pilled.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. This is how I saw it when I was like 20 and this happened or whatever. Like, this is such a fucking stupid way to look at it.
All the money. We have to do this to defeat Donald Trump, and we must all
didn't.
get behind Hillary Clinton to defeat Donald Trump.
Same thing with Joe Biden.
Yeah, but look at what's happened. Bernie had the wisdom to see what would happen and to try to stop it. And back then, I would have agreed with TJ and I would have been like, fuck you, Bernie, for bending the knee. What a pussy. You're selling out. That's what I would have thought. But guess what? I lived through the last 10 years since then, right? I lived through fucking 9 years of Trump and MAGA and seeing what they were trying to do and what they did do and what they're doing now. And because, oh my God, I fucking had experiences and learned from them, I'm able to look back and say, Bernie did the right thing.
Same thing with Kamala Harris.
Well, that's
and then as soon as Kamala Harris fails, then he's like,
We have failed. We did not do a good job.
it's like, you were part of the not doing a good job.
That's the problem that I have with Bernie, with recent Bernie, is that
That's not really a matter of his policy rhetoric, though. That's a matter of like
The problem that I have with recent Bernie is that I haven't fucking learned anything since 2016.
how he actually does, comports himself.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
He said a few. I mean, there's things here and there I disagree with, and I think there's things where I would go further, but whatever.
This is TJ's idea of going further. I had an idea and then I did nothing about it. Hypothetically, if I were God, I would do more than Bernie Sanders actually accomplished or tried to.
Yeah, he waited for those post-orgasmic clarity procs to happen.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders is trying to get people health care, but, I would go further and give everyone free cotton candy on Tuesdays. Free ice cream for everybody.
What is he, the class president now?
That's what I would do. This is Sugar Candy Mountain. This is hypothetically, I have better ideas. I'd probably do them at some point. No, you wouldn't.
He's writing his book. Leave him alone.
Is he?
Yeah.
Should we do like a dramatic reading?
I mean, they did some Brett Keane. Why not?
Yeah, we could. Really. We could do like an eternal undying lore reading of Sex Bot Uprising.
Of course, he's afraid it won't be published by Barnes and Noble because it has it's too sexual, and he's grappling with that now.
The world's not ready for his genius.
No, of course not.
I had an idea. I watched iRobot and thought, what if this had vaginas in it?
You'll remember he had people donate tiers for merch tiers to have their name in the book and to get killed in a specific way.
Ugh,
sexually.
That's so gross. That's not art. How is that?
Oh, it is art.
The number of people who die in my novel is just going to depend on how many people pay me $50 or whatever.
It unironically happened.
And that book hasn't come out. Where's the money, amazing atheist? Where's the RV trip? Scam situation.
Paul, where's your RV trip?
Oh,
where's your trip to DC? Remember?
You guys, if you give everyone who gives me $1,000, I'll write a novella just for you where you die. And that'll actually come out. I'll do that like this weekend. $1,000. And you'll actually have your name in writing or whatever. And I can kill you however you want to die.
Like a lot of stuff he says, I'm like, yeah, awesome. But it kind of just boils down to like a lot of tweets AOC makes. It's like, oh yeah, awesome, cool. I agree with that tweet. It's not a matter of just like saying the right words. You have to follow it up with the right actions too. Guys,
what
it's political outreach though.
Not only that, but like his voting record, which we looked at, his political outreach, his advocacy now, fighting the good fight right now, doing what they should be doing. They should be Kyle exasperated. That's what they should be doing. That's the right thing to do at this moment.
Yeah, but they're sleepy.
Yeah, they have a lot to deal with.
They're not researching their show. Somebody else is doing it.
Right. We've learned actually that Paul's wife does have a job reading Wikipedia for him.
Guys, you're blowing. I'm sorry. My bad.
Paul, you love to read. You should be the one reading all the shit. You should be doing the research. You love to read.
You'd think so.
My bad. Oops.
I did not even.
Isn't it interesting? Like as you read, you discover new things about the world. Am I right? You're chasing the quest for knowledge, Paul. Isn't that in itself a reward?
It fucks with his mental health. Plus, he's CPAP pilled now, so he doesn't want to do that shit.
They rise up through the ranks and they put in the work. Well, guess what? Bernie Sanders announced an anti-oligarchy tour where he's going across the country and specifically to some of these like purple districts that Trump barely won. He's going there and he's basically breaking it all down for people. Hey, Elon Musk is the world's richest robber baron. Donald Trump is a far-right fascist. They're a serious threat.
Yeah, I've never heard that message before.
Yeah, they are.
I got an email from Bernie.
That is an original message that Bernie
Wait, so because it's not an original message? He didn't make it up. It's the fact of what's happening. This is the message. This is what's going on. He's not inventing it. Oh, I've heard that before. What?
Is out there.
Wowza.
I mean, have you guys heard this line of rhetoric where Trump is a fascist?
TJ, did you know that Donald Trump is a fascist?
Never
So they don't think Trump is a fascist? Is that what I'm getting from this?
heard
You're
that.
getting that they're
Finally, someone
downplaying
had
it.
the courage to say it.
They're 100% downplaying it.
Because
For
Bernie
sure.
Sanders is talking about that Donald Trump is a fascist. Therefore,
They're
that's
mocking-
old news. Who cares?
They're mocking like the senator with the most integrity in like the history of our country. They're mocking him, sacrificing probably the last decade of his life to run around the country like a madman and do what he can to raise awareness and combat the fascism that's taken over this country. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And you're mocking that. You're sitting here mocking Bernie Sanders and his quest to save the country. You mock him. You mock him for signing people up to vote for Democrats and for funneling people into Democrats. You funnel people into their mother's basement. Okay? You funnel people into nothing. The vacuousness of our culture right here.
It's neats and incels, you know. Gotta say that at least once or
Yeah.
twice.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to lay it all out for you in detail. And so he announced this tour. And guys, this is like, it's like rock star numbers are showing up for him. Okay? Look,
Oh my god.
But Kyle, you have to understand too, in a lot of these areas, like this is like the
Why
time-
shouldn't they be happy?
someone with even approaching
Why are they mocking this? This is our movement to fight against what's happening.
their place.
As John Cena once said, no, we're not doing that.
look at this. In the middle of winter in Omaha tonight, Bernie Sanders spoke
Wow.
to 2,400 working class
They
Nebraskans.
paid money.
We were
What? I didn't see it. Should we read it? Hold on.
I don't know, but you'll
Okay.
it just occurred to me. But go on.
Tucker White 94.
Oh, an old school fan.
Stop giving them your money. Yeah, this is for you, Tucker White, and you could be an idiot too. I feel like in the videos we've watched, I recognize that name. As John Cena said, there are those who talk about it, and there are those who be about it. Thank you for your $5.
He's a old school DB fan too.
Okay.
But also it occurred to me that they're ambivalent to Bernie Sanders doing these talks, right?
They're not ambivalent. They're dismissive.
Yeah, whatever. That room was full of people, and they're basically like
Yeah.
downplaying that. Remember how conservatives are hosting town halls and they're getting ran out of town by
Yeah.
their angry constituents?
Hell yeah.
Isn't this a great time to
That's
do some
been-
public outreach?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Actually, let's just sit here and complain. Let's mock the good guy who's doing our job, what we should be doing, right? This is what, like, TJ, Paul, and Scotty with their platform, this is what they should be doing.
Their platform
should
where
be-
they've repeatedly said they're done talking politics, and yet they can't stop.
Yeah, and we don't have the luxury to stop talking about politics. Everyone needs to talk about politics from now until the fascists are... the fascists are no longer in charge. This is disgusting. Like, trying to not only just pretend like what's happening isn't that bad is gross and counterproductive, and really doing what you're accusing Bernie of doing, which is funneling energy into nothing. But mocking him is pathetic. It's kind of like mocking Kyle as his channel explodes while you dwindle into irrelevancy.
Look at this. In the middle of winter in Omaha tonight, Bernie Sanders spoke to 2,400 working class Nebraskans. We were forced to turn away
You
800.
considered briefly and then bailed on the John Cena $5 comment, dude. Here's what John Cena says, dude.
I'm not doing
As
it.
John Cena once said, there are those
All
who
right, well,
talk about
Scotty
it.
will do it. Here you go.
Oh,
All right, you go
okay.
from the top then. As John Cena once said, there are those who talk about it, and there are those who be about it, TJ.
Damn.
Be about it,
At least
bitch.
we read it.
Yeah, you just got
Ah, gay. I agree. I don't even know what you're responding to, but I agree.
Yeah, I
People
reflexively
at the
agree.
door.
Jesus Christ.
More than 100.
The average DFF fan.
Is 2,400 people rock star numbers now? It's a good crowd.
It's a good size
I'm not
crowd.
shitting on the crowd, but like
For Omaha in winter? In a Republican area?
that's not.
They never leave their
rock star numbers.
house.
More than 130,000 tuned in to the live stream. Hey TJ, how many people watched this live stream? The 2,400 is rockstar numbers because it sold out the venue and people had to be turned away. We were forced to turn away 800 people. That's showing that there's a great demand for this.
I'm assuming Omaha.
Bleh, all he did was turn out thousands of people.
It's probably more left-leaning as the whole of Nebraska. So, I mean, look, Bernie Sanders is a nationally very popular figure on the left. If he says he's going to show up in Omaha, I mean, Omaha's it's the middle of winter in Omaha.
Wait, did he imply
So
that Nebraska is a liberal
I want to
state?
hear Bernie. I want to see Bernie. Yeah, what else they got?
I don't know.
They live in Omaha.
He's just trying, like, what is Scotty's analysis? What's the point? He's just recapping what happened. He's like it's weird. Like he's trying to minimize the energy of what's going on, right? What's actually happening, dude, is that people are fucking furious and waking up while you guys are more and more like determined to stay asleep with all your might. Like
the sleeper must awaken.
Doubling down as much as you can. That's what you're doing. And everyone else in the country is waking up and they're furious. Rightfully so. And that's why Bernie Sanders is selling out venues or whatever the fuck. Your takeaway for that is like, Bernie Sanders is a big name. Like, if he shows up, people are going to show up. What's the big deal? That's your contribution. That's what you're doing.
He has original ideas.
Nothing to see here, guys.
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
Oh my God. Stop paying them to do this.
Oh, bro. So I'm not shitting on his numbers, but that's good. I was able to get 2,400 people to come listen to my bullshit.
I'm not even saying it's a bad thing that Bernie's out there spreading his message or whatever but can we not
Wow.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter.
do this Bernie is the anointed one again? Because like we tried it
What do you
multiple
mean?
times.
Yeah.
He's not saying Bernie should run for president again.
The
He's
DNC
not.
can unite behind
It didn't
anything.
work.
It's how they're going to goddamn Bernie Sanders over.
It doesn't work, man.
Leads right back into the.
And we know that Bernie doesn't. We know what Bernie does in defeat. If Bernie in defeat was like them, I stand defiant.
And lose?
Yeah, I mean, we've already gone over why TJ's an
Split the
idiot for
party?
saying this. Yeah, this always goes back to these people with lesser evil voting. They don't
believe in
understand.
that.
Bro, when I was talking to Phoebe,
Oh, here we go.
I brought up Sun Tzu's The Art of War. As you do. Well, have you heard the conversation?
I was there. I was there, Bill and I.
You were one of the few.
I was
who
one of
watched-
the 4 viewers watching.
You actually watched
live.
her stream live. How dare you
didn't
watch her
comment.
stream and not wait for my video, you son of a bitch.
I pre-watched it.
Okay. So it's like these people don't understand the battlefield, right? A big part of this is that we're fighting a battle, and these people are saying they wish we weren't fighting the battle we're fighting, but we don't have that luxury right now. We are fighting the battle. We need to manipulate the field of battle in order to achieve better conditions. That's the stage we're in right now, because fighting this battle, we're losing, okay? So we need to change public opinion. That's a big part of it, shifting public opinion. There are other things we need to do, but that's a big part of it. What you don't do is you don't split the Democratic coalition right now. That's not, that would be so self-defeatist. That would be like falling on your own sword in this instance, okay? Like sometimes it makes sense to band together to fight a greater evil, right? It's sort of like in Lord of the Rings when Aragorn walks the paths of the dead to get the Don Harrow King and his men to fight against the orcs at Minas Tirith, right? The DNC are the army of the dead, and we're Aragorn. Okay. Right now we're making an unholy alliance because we need to stop the Dark Lord from destroying the world. How's that metaphor? Is that a good metaphor?
For me, it is.
Yeah. Not for TJ. He hates Lord of the Rings because he has a horrible taste.
I'd be like, all right,
So
let's
does
go
Paul,
on.
too.
Look at that sweater.
Bernie train again.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But that's not what he does.
He's a wizard.
Well, the only way he can wield any
Is he?
political power is
Yeah.
playing their game. That's it. So then, of course, he bends the knee. I'll be part of the Biden administration. I'll be an advisor. I'll have the president's ear. I'll get some policies.
As opposed to
actually
what?
bend the law. And that's how they bought Bernie with the Biden administration. It was like some of those,
Yeah, idiot.
What else would he do?
This is how they got Bernie to bend the knee. They promised him things and then they gave him that. They made deals with him. In the sources, I'm going to link Biden policy platforms that were influenced by Bernie Sanders, okay? So in addition to what has Bernie Sanders done in his long career of public service that you're going to find in there, you're also going to have how Bernie Sanders wielded his influence to impact the Biden administration. And he did. That's all going to be in the sources. So fuck Scotty, fuck TJ, fuck Paul. Fuck these useful idiots for fascism. Fuck them for doing Trump's work right now. Fuck them for trying to minimize the energy of our defiance against the fascists. Fuck them for trying to downplay the dangers of the fascist. Fuck them for mocking Bernie Sanders as he's fighting our fucking battle for us, and you're mocking him. Fuck them for mocking Kyle, who's the person who really they should be looking to as a role model for, one, how to grow a channel, and two, how to actually be principled advocates for good. So disgraceful.
Now listen.
Policies.
Yeah.
This sounds like a hate video to me. You should tone it down.
Fuck Eternal Undying High too.
They used to like negotiating the price of drugs. Yeah, that's Bernie's influence.
Now, he's also been to see guys like Kyle desperately trying to integrate the DNC, like the DNC, which has been dead to leftists for the last.
So he wants to see guys like Kyle who are desperately trying to integrate the DNC.
35 years. Like somehow we're going to sneak.
That's been dead to leftists for 35 years.
Socialist through the cracks of that organization.
We almost got Bernie in there twice.
Me.
Kyle's not a socialist. He believes in social democracy.
I tell you how I will support Bernie. If Bernie comes out tomorrow and goes,
The liberals have been complicit in the rape and destruction of this planet and this country.
The liberals. Bernie's a liberal.
And it is clear to me that they are no longer capable of...
Paul doesn't know what a liberal is. He sees this in black and white. He thinks Democrat equals liberal. Kamala Harris equals liberal. What about Kamala Harris was liberal, and what about her was illiberal? What do you mean by liberal? Actually, if Bernie Sanders comes out and says, fuck the people I don't like, suddenly he won't be too old for me. If Bernie Sanders tells me what I want to hear, the years will just melt away. He'll be a viable option again.
managing these crises. That's why I'm starting the Bird Podium Party. You know,
The Bird Podium Party. Yeah, dude.
Whoa, okay, call it, dude. We've had the bull mooses and the know nothings and the wigs. It's time. It's time because I don't want.
We've had the bull mooses. Where have I heard that before?
I wonder. Man.
$100.
Oh no. Oh no. I was certain there was no Paulisms. Oh no.
Maybe he watched.
Dime or excuse or janitorial job or sweep up or glaze for the liberals. They have fucked us every way, every time. It's time to stand up to an oligarch or a fascist. They're just nowhere to be found. You know, oops, they missed. They
What Bernie is standing up right now, and you're mocking him for it. What do you mean?
You really have to watch our videos in chronological order to get all the references.
To get all the references.
We're rehashing old shit. It's getting really sad watching people who I agree with Kyle on most things politically, probably, but his faith
Probably. Do you?
Democratic Party.
Most things, probably.
The
He doesn't
Dems
even fucking know.
The Dems spent a whole year prosecuting a genocide and failing to arrest Trump, who was on tape committing crimes. Yeah.
The Dems were?
The Dems.
Prosecuting. Perpetuating, you mean?
No. So they think that the Dems are the Justice Department. So we'll forget about the genocide for a second. We'll be back to that. Failing to arrest Trump. So this commenter thinks that the Democrats should have done that instead of like the police, right? And the prosecutors who did it. So they're sort of insinuating that the Democrat politicians influence the Justice Department in who to prosecute, and that's a good thing.
You know the blowback of what happened if Joe Biden clapped him in irons?
I think that, yeah, if that happened now, everyone would probably be stoked.
Now, yeah, but on like election, on inauguration day.
Yeah, line them all. I don't care. So yeah, the Dems spent a whole year prosecuting a genocide. So I want you to engage with this, okay? We're going to talk about tacit consent for genocide because not everyone's going to watch the Phoebe debate. So let me go over this here.
Do it.
Tacit consent is the idea that you consent to the laws of a society by living in it and participating in that society. It's different than explicit consent, right? Where you say what you want or where you act out what you want directly. It's by your complicity in the system that you tacitly consent. So when you pay taxes, you tacitly consent to the laws of your country. When American citizens pay taxes, they fund the genocide. Obviously, that doesn't mean that we're responsible for the genocide individually, but that's the concept of tacit consent. It's that by participating in the system, you do in some way consent to what it does. So when Paul says voting for a Democrat is like signing your name to the genocide or whatever, it's not. People vote for all kinds of different reasons. Like, so for example, when I voted knowing that the Democrats were going to continue the genocide in Gaza, but I thought that if the Republicans won, they were going to continue the genocide in Gaza, they were going to spread the genocide to the West Bank, and they were going to allow Israel to continue to annex parts of Syria and maybe their other neighbors too. So I did in my head, it's like, no matter what I do, there's going to be a genocide, right? So at this point, I'm trying to contain the genocide as much as I possibly can. So that's why if you're voting and you have a choice between the Democrats and the Republicans during the general election, you vote for the Democrats, and that's not tacitly consenting to the genocide. So because let's say that they're identical, they're not. There are foreign policies differences between the parties that are important, but let's pretend that they're identical on foreign policy, right? But you're voting on healthcare because you know that when Democrats are in office, more people have access to healthcare by the millions. And when Trump is in office, last time 2.5 million people lost healthcare. Maybe you're voting on healthcare, right? You're not tacitly consenting to everything the Democrats do. You're making a decision to like, I'm going to try to get more people healthcare. That's why I'm voting, okay? You don't fund the genocide when you vote for Democrats. You fund the genocide when you pay taxes. Tacit consent is just participating in the American system. So when this guy says that the Democrats spent a whole year prosecuting a genocide and that's why you shouldn't vote for them, that's the implication here. You should point out that the Democrats are the better option of the two when it comes to the genocide, right? That not voting for Democrats isn't going to stop the genocide, but voting for them is going to contain the genocide. Whereas if you don't vote for them, the most likely outcome is that the genocide is going to expand. We need to stop the genocide, and we need to hold the Democrats who prosecuted the genocide accountable. But voting on election day is not the way to do it. That's not the method that we do it. That's what I mean when we don't understand the battlefield. There's another way. We have to change the battle that we're fighting in order to accomplish that goal of stopping the genocide. That's not something we get to vote on, okay? But we do get to vote on how many people get access to healthcare or more people lose access to healthcare. That's something that is on the ballot. The genocide wasn't on the ballot, and it's fucked up that it wasn't. But by saying that by refusing to vote for the Dems and by guaranteeing that Trump victory, you're making the genocide worse. You're not only tacitly consenting to the genocide by paying your taxes, you're complicit in making the genocide worse because that's something you do control. That's what we control when it comes to the genocide. It's like, does it continue as it is or does it get worse? And it's fucked. But that was the dichotomy of that time. And it wasn't a false dichotomy because you can say like, well, I'm just not going to vote. And that's not consenting to the genocide. Well, it is, because when you don't vote, you're supporting one candidate. One candidate is going to win. And when people don't vote, that favors the Republicans.
No confidence.
Yeah.
An institution that
No confidence makes the genocide worse. No confidence causes people to lose healthcare. No confidence causes the NLRB to be disbanded. No confidence destroys the FTC. No confidence destroys the EPA. No confidence makes the world so much worse.
we're going to sneak any kind of change through could be so much better directed at begging Bernie to start a third party or somebody to start a third.
This is the fantasy that Paul lives in. This is Paul's strategy. We're going to start a third party, okay? Everyone all of a sudden is going to be enlightened enough to understand why they should vote for that third party. They're all going to achieve this revelation by the time the next election is, so within the next few years, so within a short time span, hundreds of millions of people are going to have this great awakening. We can't even get people to wake up and do gun control. We can't even get people to wake up and know that evolution is correct or believe in climate change, right? It's such a tall order. Destroy ignorance in America. That's the hard way. You're playing the game on nightmare mode. That's not the best way to accomplish what we need to accomplish.
Their narrative stands the test of time, though, Paul. It's because ultimately they funnel everything back to them. It's always got something. You're right. Ultimately, unless it's something completely separate from them, it's all just going to all roads essentially lead back. It's like it's the RNC or the DNC, fellas.
Been releasing these videos where he responds pretty often to what's going on and explains to people exactly what's happening. And those videos on YouTube and on other social media platforms, it's racking up millions of views. Millions of views.
Because Bernie's an actual populist, of course.
What's their way? They're upset that he's covering this or what?
American working class. Of course, people, that message resonates. It's not what Bernie...
What's the point of this segment? To dismiss the movement right now? That's the whole point of this.
This segment was pulled probably because somebody thought it was a good idea to pull it for the show.
The whole
you know
point... The whole point of them doing this segment is to mock Bernie Sanders for what he's doing right now and to mock Kyle for trying to spread his message. They're actively working against what we're trying to do. They're doing the work of the fascists by minimizing, dismissing, and mocking the politician who is most effectively fighting them and most effectively waking the population up.
Is Paul's ego right now, or is his name tag say Paul's ego? I can't ever.
It says
like, tell.
dent-headed freak right now.
Oh shit! So
It's what
he's
is
not
actually been able-
his caricature.
No, he's just
No
back
cause.
to normal. Yeah.
running them through the DNC. Hillary rigged. Remember the superdelegates?
The new
It's like,
normal.
oh, let's look at the delegate count. Hillary, 1 bajillion. Bernie, 35. So when you go and vote for that, it's like, who's going to win? Oh, Hillary's already got it. Why vote for Bernie? Hillary's already won. All right, guys, we're going to reform that rule. Okay, Bernie's doing pretty well against the rest of this field there. Oh, everyone's dropping out except Joe Biden. Everyone just endorsed Joe Biden.
Oh, everyone dropped out and endorsed Joe Biden on.
Okay, so, oh my God, they have to relitigate how the primaries were rigged every fucking time they talk about
Just
it.
before Super.
So we have to sit through 3 minutes of them saying the same thing.
Other
Joe Biden
politicians not
attacking
named
Donald
Donald Trump. It doesn't happen. If Jerry Connolly gave a rally
So, okay, guys, I know we just skipped over that, but their argument is that the Democrats rigged the primaries against Bernie. Therefore, what Bernie Sanders is doing doesn't matter right now.
I mean, no one's denying that Bernie's got some charisma and pizzazz and shit. Obviously, that's true. He can connect with people.
This message resonates with people, of course. Yeah.
But like, the problem is, this ain't the first rodeo at this point. I've already been shamed on me. I've already gone down this Bernie path 2 times. I see where it leads. It don't lead to victory.
They don't understand what's happening right now. They think Bernie is like,
They don't.
I think there needs to be just a reorientation politically in this country.
what does that mean?
I think this like left-right paradigm needs to fucking
working
go.
anymore.
It needs to die. It's too convoluted and simplistic for what we actually have now.
It excludes.
Convoluted and simplistic. Okay. You want to elaborate on anything you say? Or are you just gonna fucking spout like,
Oh, that was a good catch,
Catchphrases.
bro. That was a good catch. That was a good catch. Man,
I have my moments?
it's too complicated and simple.
Yeah, it's just get rid of the entire like left-right process just because it's,
too-
both
it's-
complicated and simple.
It's too
Remember,
tall.
the
and
enemy is
it's
both
too
strong
short.
and weak. One of the tenets of fascism.
Yeah.
Too many people that otherwise would be in lockstep on major issues. It's no longer useful to the average human being, and I think we need to stop thinking that way.
What if Chuck
I love this. They have no idea how fucking reality operates. Yeah, you guys, I think that everyone should just stop thinking the way they do. Anyways, now that I've accomplished that, everyone vote for the Green Party. Within 3 years, everyone changed to Green Party. See, Bernie Sanders acts like it's hard, but actually we did way more leftism than he did.
I'm glad Paul unpaused Monster Hunter Wilds for activism.
Yeah, he shut down Marvel Rivals for 5 minutes to give us the good ideas.
He's probably
Schumer
playing
did
it
it.
right now.
Hakeem Jeffries did it? Okay,
I mean, is this really the standard? Better than like, is that really where we're at now? He's better than Keem Jeffries, bro. He's better than Chuck Schumer.
I mean, in fairness to
Yeah, the argument Kyle is making is that Bernie represents leadership in the Democratic Party. The way that he's making that argument is by providing the evidence, or at least the claim, that the actual Democratic leadership is weak and unpopular, and Bernie's message is strong and popular. Therefore, the conclusion, right? The conclusion built on those premises is that Bernie is the voice leading the Democratic Party, or should be. That's why it's good evidence for him to say that for the claim he's trying to make.
Kyle, what else you got to sell?
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Bernie's the best thing. I mean, you really can. It's like, because he just said it. There's no hope with these other empty
Like,
suits.
one
There's
of
no hope with them.
the major problems of the last 10 years of American politics has been the advancing age of
Are
people.
y'all
with
condoning
powerful-
centrism? Oh my god, dude. No.
Absolutely. That's not.
I don't even want to those types of people just make me want to rip my face off.
You're not condoning centrism.
I just said the entire paradigm needs to be rejected. This left,
liberal-
right, and center bullshit is nonsense. It does not reflect reality.
You understand, like, the left and the right, they do reflect reality.
It's not a
It's not
literal
like-
left and a right.
How people
Those don't exist in reality.
Yeah, they're just talking about one party versus the other
actually
party.
think. We need to stop thinking in those terms.
Correct.
Quit being a dumbass who has to think along a straight line.
Oh my
I told you.
God. You're right.
He's gonna talk
was
about
gi-
like how left and right is a reality.
I was
If he
giving
wants-
him way too much credit.
Oh, you need to stop
Man.
doing that.
TJ, it's going to blow your mind when you find out that there's different factions within these left and these right quadrants. There's
It's all rock
actually
or rap.
the political compass has 4 quadrants. It's wild.
Oh shit.
It gets way more complicated. Wait until you hear about anarcho-syndicalists.
Yeah, we're
And
definitely
X and
not
Y?
centrism. That's fucking ridiculous
The
garbage.
center of what?
Yeah, exactly. The center of what? The supposed will of the idea
The
of
political
centrism
compass.
doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't. Oh, it's a cut line to the left and the right. So what is that? Some more
Oh
watered
my
down garbage? No, there's no one
God.
here on this podcast that would ever endorse that shit.
So here, I'll show you some of the stuff here. This is one of the pictures, absolutely packed in there. I also have some videos for you. Here's one video. This one was in Iowa City. Look at this.
What did he say?
We're desperate on the left for leader.
He said, thank you, Iowa City, probably.
Look at how ancient your hope for being able to support anything about the Democratic Party right now is.
So now he's ancient when he's supporting the Democratic Party, but he needs to break off and form a third party. Kyle's not even saying that he should run for president, right? That's not the point of this. The point of this is look at all the activism Bernie's doing. He's fighting the fight. We need to support this. That's the point of it. Not Bernie 2028. That's not the point of it. And this is like how fucking stupid Paul is and how like his perception of reality just changes based on like whether or not Bernie's pro DNC or agrees with him. Whether or not Bernie's too old to run just completely hinges upon whether or not he's a DNC candidate or he starts a third party in Paul's mind. The physical laws that govern Bernie's age and capabilities just change based on whether or not he agrees with Paul. What a fucking dipshit.
Is it like the question I would ask Kyle if you were on the show right now is when's it time to walk away? Like when do you cut and run from the Democratic Party and quit pouring your money
Oh my God.
and your
This isn't even about the Democratic Party, really.
advocacy down the shitter?
Because Bernie's out there screaming about the oligarchy. You're
know,
the
when
ones.
Trump,
you're the ones.
lost-
Hold on. They're the ones that are seeing things in the false left or right dichotomy of American politics or whatever. They're the ones seeing it this way. Paul right now is so fucking like black and white brained. He doesn't understand what's happening. This is crazy. That he's funneling the energy into something useful. Imagine that.
Because we gotten 2 Trump administrations, the worst times in American history that we could have possibly gotten them. Have we not learned? Has the sting of the failure of the lib left and their constant shifting and like just following like lemmings as the right wing pushes things further right? Like, have we not?
No, the Democrats are not the lib left. Like that, the tautology of their ideology is neoliberal centrism and pragmatism. They're not lib lefts. They're not. Like, why do you think that? Why does Paul think that? Like, what? Why is he so word gamed into thinking that they're not even progressive?
They say that like you're right. Oh, well, the only way to save us is we have to go more to the right. That's the only solution, guys. More mainstream, more neoliberal.
That the opposite is happening right now. Bernie is rallying the progressive populist wing of the party to keep them from going right. He's fighting against the elements like Hakeem Jeffries who want to go more to the right, more to the center, and you're mocking that. Bernie is fighting for your ideals within the party right now, and you're saying that he's just funneling people into like the Hakeem Jeffries wing of the party.
People want somebody who's going to give us the vision, give us the policy agenda, fight back against Trump and Elon and MAGA and all of their insanity. And look,
Right.
he's coming through. He's coming through. So here, I'll give you some of the article. Then I got some more videos for you. But this is in Common Dreams. Thousands in middle.
Oh, Bernie, I just can't quit you. Bernie Sanders. Oh, sure. He left me at the altar twice before, but he told me this time he won't.
No, he didn't. What do you mean he left you at the altar?
I promise I'll be there for you.
He lost the primary. It's not like he gave up. Like they didn't vote for him. He didn't win the election. You betrayed me by losing your election, Bernie. Like the amount of narcissistic self-delusion to look at Bernie's campaign and feel like he betrayed you. It's so crazy. Really, what Bernie's doing right now by going out there and by doing these rallies and what Kyle's doing right now by spreading this message, he's leaving TJ at the altar. He's attacking TJ by doing that. He betrayed TJ.
Through thick and thin, I will be there. Do us part.
Oh shit, TJ, the DNC called me. Never mind. Bye, TJ. Good luck.
Bernie, what are all these texts from the DNC?
She means nothing to me.
The Democratic establishment isn't worried about Trump because to them this is business as usual.
Chuck Schumer's already said publicly what his strategy is for Trump.
Yeah, he'll tire himself out.
That's pretty much what he fucking said.
It's like crazy. It's like you're like you have a little kid that's like, oh man, he'll tire himself out.
And you know, honestly, I hate to say it, but I think Chuck Schumer might have a point. Like the shit Trump is doing
What?
So TJ agrees with the Democrats.
With,
TJ agrees with the mainstream corporate neo-lib Democrats.
With the charisma vacuum that is Chuck Schumer?
Yeah, because TJ's whole thing is like, Trump's not that big of a deal. And that's Chuck Schumer. Well, that's what TJ is saying Chuck Schumer's position is, right? Which kind
Right.
of seems like what it is. So TJ agrees with that. So TJ is attacking Kyle and Bernie for trying to resist that impulse of centrism or whatever in the corporate Democratic establishment. And at the same time he's doing that, he's saying that their position is the correct one.
He is a middle-aged man.
So Bernie's wrong, Kyle's wrong. Trump isn't as bad as they say he is, and actually Chuck Schumer's right. But Bernie betrayed me by agreeing with the Democrats at the same time. Oh, what a chode.
Like,
Yeah,
there are so
from being a greaseball politician, he has
there
no
are
point
so
from
many
that perspective.
There are so many cliffs that we are hurtling towards right now. It's just a matter of time before
Okay.
we go over all of them simultaneously, and Trump is left holding the bag.
Yeah.
Probably, honestly, that'd be the best Democratic strategy they could hope for.
Drowning in cynicism here.
It is pessimist production. What do you
Oh,
want?
dude?
You're not drowning in cynicism, you're drowning in retardation.
It's not cynical, though. If anything, it's cynical to just say, capitulate to the DNC. Let's suck that dick yet again, even though it's never given us a damn thing. Like, that's cynicism.
I guess I just can't do no better than this. Bleh, bleh, bleh.
Ugh. Ugh.
Another fucking sexual joke, by the way.
No, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to try to police, like, you can't make sex jokes. You can make sex jokes. Just visually, the thought of TJ being anywhere near my penis just fills me with such repulsion.
Yes, you can. We're the ones telling you can do better. That's not cynicism.
I don't
It's
even
idealism, bro.
I don't even know if you can do better. But you should try to do better. You don't know. You won't know if you can do better until you give it a good
They're trying to do better right now.
3 or
No.
4 goddamn cycles. Try. Jesus Christ, man. How long?
about
does it take?
opposition.
How many times are you gonna touch the hot
It's about opposition. Yeah, that dude, the chatter is correct.
stove and have it burn
Oh.
the out of you, and scream at the libs for about a month, and then find yourself supporting them the next 3 years down the road or at the midterms? Cycle again and again and again and again. Dude, I hate to hold him to it, but just remember, this was a dude that just months ago was so high on the liberal
Again.
mommy milkers farts. that
We're-
Months ago.
Mommy
Months
milker
ago.
farts.
Yeah.
He is so loathsome.
He is the villain he always wanted to be on stage.
Good for him. You're like the Baron if he was a retard.
had Kamala
The
blowing Trump
Baron
out
has
in
more charisma than Paul does.
every swing state. So I'm not trying to hold that over his head forever, but notice the wild swing
What does that have to do with any of this?
political position, the wild
What wild swing in his political position? What are you talking about? What is he talking about?
He doesn't even know.
Hold on, guys. We're going to be quiet and watch the whole thing
Yeah.
Paul says here.
blowing Trump out in every swing state.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to hold that over his head forever, but notice the wild swing in political position, the wild swing in support. Now he's snuggling back up to Bernie because guess who turned back on the anti-liberal rhetoric as soon as Trump won? Bernie.
Well, Joe Biden had a chance to sew this up, and he failed the country. And
God damn. Yeah, you know what? He's more retarded than TJ, maybe. The pendulum has swung the other way, Paul. Kyle did not change his political affiliation or whatever. Bernie also supported Kamala Harris. Kyle and Bernie were of a mind in their support for Harris. They're also aligned in Bernie's current activism. There is consistency in their position. Supporting Harris in the election does not mean you disagree with Sanders' criticism of the Democratic Party. You are so smooth-brained.
Kamala was not a good pick, and
Well, you know how he was.
Yeah.
they should have done this, and they should have done that.
And where was his voice during that?
Yeah. Hindsight, of course, is
He was trying to get her elected. That's why he didn't say that.
2020. We, of course, can look back.
So she's the best.
You know what I mean? Like you then.
Let me tell you something about Kamala's.
Fuck you!
It's the sweetest
Mama.
coconut milk you've ever tasted.
Actually, it's sour.
It's sour. It's rancid. It's garbage. She's trash.
He didn't say that either. How is this? Nowhere is Bernie denouncing Kamala Harris, right?
Right.
Why do they think that? Why do they equate this with Bernie renouncing his support for Kamala in the election?
Because they only can argue with straw men.
But those things are completely unrelated.
Yeah, but I don't think they realize that.
We need to defeat oligarchy.
And guess what? Bernie gets everyone all amped up.
Whoa, Bernie!
And then he loses because the DNC backstabs him because they don't want his ass in there. And they've proven they don't want his ass in there a million times. And then they put up some generic bullshit. And what does Bernie do? Does he say,
This is a rigged bullshit game.
They're going to
Bernie's
ride.
like,
Oh,
Okay, this is the third fucking time in this video TJ has said the same fucking thing, but I've already responded to it. We responded to it the first time he said it. I'm not going to respond to it again. Oh my God, stop saying the same fucking thing. Have another thought. Make another criticism.
Actually, corporate candidate, we have our disagreements. But he's a good guy. But he's a good person, and he's way better than Donald Trump. So
They want to
I
ride
am
Bernie.
here to once again suck the DNC.
They want to ride Bernie like a donkey into the midterms and hopefully get the House or the Senate back. Probably the House. And then it's like, all right, Bernie, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah, and if they manage to do that, then Bernie will have served his fucking country admirably. If Bernie's activism now is able to deliver us the House and Senate back, then he did his fucking job. And that's not them playing him. That's him making an alliance with them to kick the fascists out of power.
Thanks. You duped him again, Bernie.
Yeah, hey,
Good job.
Martin, dude.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Bernie, but at least he's trying to get some shit done. Good for you, Martin Crank.
Once again, man. I'm not telling you that what Bernie's doing here is bad or it's not good or whatever. I'm just saying.
No, you're just saying that it's hypocritical, pointless, and doing more damage than good. So actually, that is bad. You are saying it's bad.
Don't be led along this fucking primrose path again.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that he's scamming you. You people! You're a scammer! You charged people money to write them
Scams
into a
again.
book that never came out, and you have the audacity to say that Bernie Sanders is scamming people by doing these rallies?
The video
Never
website,
mind.
not productive.
TJ is
RV
way. What? No, I'm not gonna pretend like those are all the same thing. TJ is way more retarded than Paul. The pendulum
on-
has swung back.
It depends on who's
instantly.
talking most recently.
It depends on who's talking. I'm not saying Bernie is bad. I'm saying he shouldn't be doing this, and he betrayed me. Nothing I say matters because I live in a post-truth world where I just make up everything as I go along. So who cares what I say, when I say it, why I said it? None of it fucking matters.
It's all chaos magic.
Yeah, that's not what chaos magic is.
No, but, you know.
It's actually just called being a deluded narcissist who doesn't care about anything other than your own emotional self-interest in the immediate moment you're in. That's what it's called.
Bitch. Don't do it again.
And if
Bitch.
you do go down that path, know that there's a strong possibility that it ends up exactly the same way.
Made his second stop on his national tour to fight oligarchy, telling Iowa residents that Trumpism will not be defeated by politicians inside the D.C. Beltway. For better or worse, that is not going to happen, said the Vermont Independent Senator, whose broadly popular policy proposals have long been dismissed by Democratic leaders as unrealistic and radical, while President Trump has increasingly captured the attention of the working class Americans who benefit most from Sanders' ideas. Quote, it will only be defeated by millions of Americans in Iowa, in Vermont, in Nebraska, in every state in this country who come together in a strong grassroots movement and say no to oligarchy, no to authoritarianism, no to kleptocracy, no to massive cuts to programs the low-income and working Americans desperately need, no to...
Yeah, based. Bernie is saying everything that people should be hearing right now. This is so on point. Like always, Bernie. Like always, Bernie on message. What a hero, right?
Yeah, but what is he doing though?
But this
He
is
sure
so on
yaps a
point.
lot.
This is so on point. This is exactly what people need to hear. He betrayed me, though. How can you trust him? All he's doing is telling you the truth right now.
He's just talking. What is he doing?
Instead, give us money.
people in this
Give us money to make worse and worse content with less and less effort put into it.
The senator announced his tour earlier this month as Elon Musk, the head of Doge, bought the government, bought the administration, illegally...
And lo, for the third time, Bernie Sanders did rise from the dead and lead the
Here we
people
go.
once more.
Say it again. Say the
Doubters
line.
And the naysayers, they said their doubts and they said their nay.
No, we're just going to
Bernie
edit
did
over
not
this.
care.
Yeah, I'm just going to edit over that. I love how when I'm in control of things, I don't have to listen to TJ be a retard when I don't want to.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
You did find religion, though, didn't you?
Oh, you sure did.
That's how you end a
Him
prayer,
and
right?
Paul.
Yeah, I think so. Amen.
Amen.
Well, that was horrible. That was pure
Is that
fucking
dog AI?
cancer. I don't know. Probably. Yeah, yeah. Did you see that? Hold on.
You sure did.
Hold on. Let's watch it turn its head here. I don't know.
Good old Sora.
There's something off about it. Oh man, I just, god damn, I just want to say that they're horrible. They're so bad. Their content is terrible. It's harmful to even put this shit out there because it's so stupid.
If it's so bad, why do you watch it?
as we've gone through this video and gone over it, we've pointed out several like logical inconsistencies. These people are not good allies. They are not good advocates. Cast down these charlatans. They do not represent you. They are not your voice. They are not entertaining. They do not have insightful things to say. You guys have a good night though. Thanks for watching. I had a lot of fun with this one.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
Actually subscribe. I remember to say it this time. You didn't say it. I said
Ring
it.
that bell. No, don't. Doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
But
you guys have a good one.
We lost our home. Ring the bell.
We lost our home, but we found the promised land. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Let me end this by saying, DFF are pathetic, but there are still good content creators out there like Kyle, who has been grinding for years, fighting the good fight, who now his channel is blowing up. So congratulations for that, for sure. But he is such a needed, important voice on the platform, and these stupid cunts just denigrate that. But I just want all of you to recognize there are good voices out there that you should gravitate towards. You should take that $7 or whatever you give to DFF and give it to Kyle. You really should. He makes more important content, and he's better at what he does. And he's giving you good information and not solipsistic bullshit and sophistry. And I'll leave it with that. You guys have a good one.